Hello everyone. So I am starting the new series of conversation around PMI-ACP. Let's see how frequently we do it and depends upon the interest and the value of the conversation. I made video last week talking about the new PMI-ACP exam and I got some of the questions. So my one objective is I answer those questions. I have made a list of it based on various sources. I got these queries. And I may recap a little bit about your new updated PMI-ACP exam as well. So you come to know that what kind of changes PMI has brought in this November 2024 update. If you are not yet aware, the PMI has changed the exam content outline of PMI-ACP this month. They made it effective from 8th November in the exam. And the work was going on for a while. And now if you go for a PMI-ACP exam, you are giving in the new content outline. So that something is already in effect. Before I start talking about the generic introduction of the change, if you have any specific queries, you can just post them. Probably I take your query first before I introduce my agenda, because that's the value of this interactive session. My agenda, I can do it with the help of a video as well, where I just speak whatever I want to speak about PMI-ACP. But the value is here, I can probably take your queries as well and try to answer them, which probably help you in making the decisions related to your PMI-ACP exam preparation as well as later on giving the exam. So I probably start. In case you have a query, please type it. I will just check it out after a few minutes. But before I check it out, let me introduce a little bit about PMI-ACP directly from PMI website. So let us go to the PMI website. Okay, let me share my screen. So here, when we visit PMI website, you can directly go into homepage. Let's take the whole path. And nowadays, since the PMI has relaunched this program, they are putting good amount of attention to it. So you see it at the homepage as well. They are promoting that why don't you explore the PMI-ACP. In a certification section, now here something to observe. You have a core certification and you have a specialized certification. So in the core certification, you get things like CAPM, PMP, PGMP. They are foundational certificate for a project and program management standard. And in the specialization section, you get little deep certificates which are pertaining to that particular area. For example, PMI-ACP, risk management, business analysis, construction management. So they are deep certificate. They are getting into one area of your knowledge. And PMI is putting PMI-ACP as a specialized certification on Agile. So it is not generically, it is talking about one of the way of doing work management, and which is an Agile way of doing, which is a Kanban way of doing, which is a lean way of doing. And they are saying that if you want to demonstrate your competency in that area, you may want to do a PMI-ACP to show that, yes, you are capable of doing work in that particular section. If you see that they are saying it's an ISO certified exam, okay, they are putting up some information here. But the interesting statement which I pick it from here is that stress on these three elements. So you expected to drive excellence in your work through Scrum, Lean, and Kanban, and other Agile related methods and concepts. But in general, you will see the content is heavy on Scrum, Lean, and Kanban only. And that's a differentiator of PMI-ACP against the Scrum certification or any other framework certification. It is focusing on taking Agile as an umbrella and talking about some of the possible ways of achieving agility. So it is not a one path which you are learning here as far as the brand is concerned. You are learning the various paths to achieve agility. So that's a differentiator. The exam still is 120 questions. If you are aware of, it used to be a 120 only before, and it's still a 3-hour exam. There is little bit change in the eligibility criteria. Now it is relatively easy to qualify. Earlier, there was project management, Agile management, and those kind of things. So now you just need to demonstrate 2 years of experience. If you have done PMP, you don't have to demonstrate any experience. You can just go ahead and give can't give the exam. You don't see the application showing you the experience section. If you are a PMP certified person, you just need to report your contact hours and go forward with it. But if you are not PMP certified, and if you have done CSM, PSM, Safe Agile, and all those certificates, if you have done those certificate 1 year ago, and the certificate is still valid, you just need to demonstrate 1 year of experience. But if you have not done any certification, third party as well as PMI, then you need to demonstrate 2 years of Agile working experience, which is fairly easy in today's environment to demonstrate. The price you will see as per your geography. So in India, this is the cheapest you can give the exam. The GST will get added on top of it. So it will come around 33,000, and you may need to see the exam accordingly. Unlike PMP exam, where membership makes a difference, it makes the cheap. In case of PMI-ACP, membership is not needed. You probably only want to take membership if you want to do some other PMI certificate in the upcoming 11 months, because membership is valid for 1 year. If you have a plan to do PMP or PGMP in the next 1 year, then you take a membership by paying 10,000 around, and then you give the PMI-ACP exam. Now, overall, a little bit more on the eligibility. Now, there is a confusion. Now, PMI is also asking for you to demonstrate 28 hours of learning experience against 21 before. So the earlier, before 7th or 8th of November, it was focusing on demonstrate 21. But since it's the transition period, they are allowing you to fill your application with your existing 21 contact hours certificate till 31st March 2025. So again, once you fill your application, you have 1 year to give the exam. So these are the basic details and the updates. You can definitely see the modified exam content outline by clicking here. Let me show you this. So the exam content outline, as you know, or if you are not aware, let me educate. The PMI certificates are always based on exam content outline, be it PMP, be it PGMP, and it's a formal document which is available on PMI website. Now you see that new PMI-ACP has 4 domains: mindset, leadership, product, and delivery. So they have refactored the existing domains to make it a little bit more easy to comprehend and package it well. And there is a distribution of mindset 28%, leadership 25%, and product and delivery. In my personal opinion, as much I studied the previous PMI-ACP and this PMI-ACP exam, the product and delivery is exactly the same. There is no much different than previous and new one. There are changes in the mindset and leadership. I personally believe the 70% of the content is, in my judgment, comparing the old and new exam content outline is the same. So you still need to focus on the collaborative working, facilitation, understanding the agile mindset, agile values, principles, understanding how Scrum operates, understanding how Lean operates, understanding how various matrices works in a Scrum as well as Lean, the cumulative flow diagram, and the lead time, cycle time. Those kind of stuff remain same. But there is a little bit more advanced focus on emotional intelligence, psychological safety, working with a complex adaptive system. That part is coming in the mindset and leadership section. In this particular content, you can find more details. You can go down and you yourself can validate how familiar you see these exam content outline. Now, I have a specific questions which I got from the community, which I want to take. But if you have something, please feel free to post it. If you are watching us on LinkedIn, post it there. If you are watching me on YouTube, post it there. It will reach to us. Yeah. So with this briefing, I start with the questions. Yeah. Okay. So let me stick with the question only. So I see you have done PMI-ACP, you have done PMP, you have done probably a PSM. So what certification to be done for transitioning to an Agile coach role? In my understanding, nowadays, Agile coach and delivery roles are pretty much converging. Yeah? So you can say that I may be working as a delivery leader, I might be working as a program manager, and still I need to demonstrate some of the Agile coaching competencies. So that's is a trend which we are observing. And the way we do CSM certificate for becoming or initiating the Scrum Master journey, that way we usually recommend doing IC Agile ACC certificate, which is called ICP ACC. This is a 21 hours program which teaches you the foundationals of coaching competencies. it gets you started. And after that, in our content, we give you a 3 months learning content or a learning kind of capsules. If you prepare those 3 months of the content after doing ICP ACC, you know how to what is needed from an agile coach and what kind of competency you have already built. And if you have a gap, you have a path forward for that. Yeah. So one certificate which I can recommend is ICP ACC. If you want to go further, then there is a coaching specialization certificate which is called ICF ACC as well. But I think to start with, that will be good enough. Yeah. Okay, so in between we talk this question, and now I talk about PMI-ACP again. Okay, so we have a question. I need to know how much study time needed for ACC preparation. Yeah, so that's an interesting question. Yeah, let's take that question first. So see, PMI-ACP exam is far simpler than PMP exam. Yeah, that's the clarity. It is very kind of predictable, especially if you have a decent amount of agile experience. So my range, I'm giving 50 hours to 150 hours. 50 is the lower end and 150 is the higher end. So individuals who has done Scrum Master role, who understand how Scrum operates, various matrices, you have been using Jira and all those kind of stuff, then it just takes 50 hours to make sure that you are familiar with the exam content outline. There could be few models, few terms which are missing in your learning. Maybe you have not seen the Stacy matrix, maybe you have not studied about team charter. So there could be some jargons which you need to catch up, and that you should be able to do in 50 hours. And then you take a practice test to validate your readiness. So that's the estimate. And how do you validate yourself? You take a practice test to see how you are progressing in your PMI-ACP preparation. Yeah. So, and you hold on for a few more questions because I have something relevant more coming in the session now, because some questions are related to that particular area only, which Rajiv is asking. So let's see. Now, one by one, these are the things which I got, and hopefully they will answer many of your queries as well. So can I give exam based on my old 21 contact hours or my preparation? I might have done course from A provider, B provider, C provider, and they have given me something. Can I just prepare and give it? Yeah, or should I do something new? So I'm getting this question very frequently because of the nature of transitioning. So I would say that the 70% content is same. My recommendation is you study the exam content outline, especially the mindset and the leadership section. Point out which are the new topics you see, and may do some little bit research, which will not be difficult. Maybe you end up spending 10-15 hours to do that particular research and go ahead for the exam. Especially if you have been working in the agile way and you understand the core understanding of servant leadership, providing psychological safety, building trust. Those are the things. Practically, someone doing agile can give the exam directly as well. Just make sure that you are speaking the same jargons in the same language. So I believe if you have done a 21 contact hours before, just go through the exam content outline and make sure that you are familiar with the terms and the jargons, and you can definitely give the exam. But make sure the amount of content you have prepared, the 70%, you are very confident in it. If that content is also less confident, and then you have a possibility of 20% new terms showing up in the exam, then we will be in a trouble. So if you are confident about your preparation of current content, then you can just browse those two elements and go for the exam. It's an individual choice which you have to take. Yeah. So that's a one query to start with. And similarly, more and more coming in. Now, this is becoming more and more interesting. So somebody's asking, what is the difference between PMP Agile and PMI-ACP Agile? Because in PMP also, especially I keep saying that 70% of the Agile content is coming in, because there is a people domain and there is a good amount of Agile. PMI tells 50-50, but I tell if you mix people and Agile, it's a 70%. So why should I do PMI-ACP if I have already done a PMP? Or like, what is the difference between these two Agile? So my interpretation and the way I have been teaching both the programs for more than 12 years now, what I see is that specialization program get into the depth. When we teach or when you give a PMP exam is at a surface level, be it a predictive life cycle, be it an adaptive life cycle. It will be remaining at a surface level, because it expects, let's give all the possible area of knowledge to the participants, and participant can build depth as per their need and requirement in their role. So when I talk about requirement exploration, I just introduce requirement exploration technique. I don't make you write user story. I don't make you write project scope statement. I don't like PMI is not expecting you to prepare a requirement document. They just introduce these things. When we talk about product backlog, we just introduce them. We talk about, say, a burn down chart, we introduce them. Yeah, some amount of interpretation questions may come, but deep interpretation is not coming. Now, when you focus on PMI-ACP, they are saying the portion of PMP which you have already studied, probably if you have done PMP, let's get into little deep into it. Yeah, that is the differentiator. And PMI-ACP is not looking you from the perspective of project manager. Even if you are not doing project leadership role, you are doing team leadership role, you are doing maybe a test management in the agile way of working, you are qualified to do a PMI-ACP, and that's kind of things you will learn which you find yourself familiar. So it goes from a branding perspective, it goes into little detail. Now from a content perspective, in a PMP, you hardly touch much about the lean and Kanban. You definitely touch Scrum well. Scrum is kind of indirectly get covered, not in a Scrum core terms. But in a PMI-ACP, you end up touching the Scrum in the core terms. You end up touching understanding the Kanban board and how the overall flow works, getting more into the matrices related to the Kanban, understanding the lean principles. So that part is differentiating. And then, yes, the more and more focusing on agile leadership style. Yes, you can say there is a 60% content overlap. The PMP Agile will come in a PMI-ACP also, but that 60% go little deep, and there will be a 40% content which will be coming new in case of PMI-ACP. So that's how I give you as a judgment. Again, when you see yourself the exam content outline, things will be very clear to you. So that's the info till here. Let me see if I have a question. Okay, so we have a question. If I have a valid PMP certification and want to do PMI-ACP, then I just need to require PDUs and just book the exam and proceed. No need for filling the application or waiting for the approval / random audit. So you can say the process of application remains exactly the same. Yeah. The only thing is when you are filling the application, the PMI will not show you the tab which is connected to the experience. So you just fill your details and you fill your certificate, the 21 or 28 contact hours, the new one 28, old one is 21, and you submit the application. PMI will still take a time and get back to you. Yeah, they can go into audit also, but if they go into audit, they will only ask you evidence of you attending the 21 or 28 contact hours, because they are only validating that portion. Rest of the portion they are not validating. Yeah. So that's how this is connected. So I'm taking the question in between and I have my list. So hopefully this is making you a good FAQ clear. Okay, so we covered about what is new. We covered about 21 versus the new PDUs. We covered the difference between PMP and PMI-ACP. Now, another question, which is becoming a little tricky as well. How easy for me to do a PMI-ACP if I'm a PMP certified? Yeah. So I would say if you are working in the agile mode, and you have done PMP, yeah, then possibly you just go and give the exam because you already have a foundation. But if you are not working in the agile, but you have done PMP, which means you have studied agile from at a level which was covered in the PMI PMP exam, then probably you want to spend around 20-30 hours covering that particular gap. Yeah. So yes, your knowledge of agile will be useful. And if you have an experience of agile, then it is pretty predictable. So when I say experience of agile, there is a little bit specific extension I want to give to lean and Kanban as well, because there are people who know Scrum well, but they lack lean and Kanban knowledge, value stream, and understanding of those matrices, and understanding cumulative flow diagram, understanding the principles of lean. If that part is not clear, so that is need to be filled up. Yeah. So experience also varies, the preparation also varies, but in a PMP exam, as far as I understand the exam content outline of PMI and the material, the lean is not much covered. We do have a small conversation when we talk about on-demand scheduling, when we teach your adaptive scheduling topic in your lesson 3 as per PMP exam content outline, but it is little high level, it is not much depth. So hopefully this gives you the answer about how much time it takes to prepare. So, okay. So I take two questions which are here before I take my list. So I attended 2019-21 contact hours. Can I use that for applying for the exam? The answer is absolutely yes. Yeah. So these PDUs are non-expiry. Now you need to make sure that you have enough material to prepare. But if you feel your exam content outline looks familiar to you and you have confidence of doing it, from a PMI perspective, from a compliance perspective, you can definitely use your 21 contact hours of 2019 till 31st March 2025. After that, exactly, I don't have a clarity, but I am suspecting after that you need to add another 7 hours on top of this 21. Probably PMI will allow that, and you will say this is 28 now. Yeah, most likely, but it is not yet clear. So let's not make that thing, but you have time till 31st March. Okay, so we have another question. Thank you. Yeah, so am I like PMBOK 5 certified? Do I need to do PMBOK 7 too? So not needed in general, but for our content, if someone enrolls with us, we do want to give them a flavor of new way of working in the project management. So we do share PMBOK 7 videos to our clients when they are enrolling with us for PMI-ACP program, because the understanding of project management principles and learning how they well integrate with agile thinking, I think is useful for a practicing project manager. So that way we do it, but for exam perspective, I don't think that is needed. Yeah? You better focus on PMI Agile practice guide. Yeah? If you focus on a second content, what is the PMI preparation material for PMI ACP? So as of now, the Agile practice guide seems to be one material, and another material is the PMI authorized content, which is very comprehensive now. So if you enroll to a new program, to any PMI authorized education provider, they will be using the PMI workbook, PMI slides, which covers the exam content outline 100%. And that is something takes care of your exam related needs. So thank you. I go back to my list. If you have a question, please keep posting. If you have a follow-up question, then please keep posting. Yeah. So, another question is coming. Yeah. So if I enroll to the course and whether the course is updated with the latest exam content outline. So I can answer this particular question first. We are using, especially for our perspective, the PMI material. So when you enroll with us, we also give you an access key where you directly download the PMI material for PMI-ACP exam. It will have 4 booklets on 4 domains. And we also expect, like we are bound to conduct a live class. So I will be teaching you 4 sessions of 7 hours each, in which you will learn those content which is provided by the PMI. So yes, our program are now live virtual class program, and you will be getting the details of the current content outline, where I will be explaining the whole content to you in the 4 live classes. Yeah, so that's the must thing. On top of it, that I spend a little more time to give a little presentation about what is our approach for content thing. See, our usual approach is we go far more detailed than what is needed in the exam, because our major design is we focus on increasing the employability rather than just getting the certification done. So I have compiled a pre-recorded learning content of around 30 plus hours, where we have various folders. So we ensure that when you enroll with us, you get a complete content where you learn Scrum as a Scrum, not thinking about PMI-ACP exam, you learn Scrum as a Scrum. Then you learn Kanban as a Kanban. You understand all Kanban principles, all Kanban values, lean ideas. You understand various matrices. You get to know. You understand how do you manage flow, how do you improve flow. You get a thing. That's a self-paced content. Then once you are done with Scrum and Kanban, actually you have a good foundation now. We do point out, check some of the core content from PMBOK 7. Especially there is a domain called the development approach lifecycle domain. which is the importance. So the PMBOK 7 principles and these domains, these are the recommended learning you can do before attending our live class. And by doing it, you have a foundational understanding of all the content. We have additional content covering the whole PMI Agile practice guide. Yeah. So there is a video content which covers that, and more topic on estimation, requirement exploration, training, emotional intelligence, and all. Now, this is, you build a foundation. Actually, one can pass the exam using this foundation only. After that, we meet together in a live class. And in the live class, I take exam content outline topic by topic and teach you as per PMI guidance. So the beauty of live class is it ensures you get a complete grip on exam content outline. Yeah, that's something is covered. The way we have designed the program, we ensure that before you just focus on exam, we want to make sure that you have a foundational understanding of Agile. Now, if you are already having good understanding of Scrum, Kanban, and all, you can skip watching those content. You may just browse it and say, oh, I know all this, I don't have to worry about it. Perfectly okay. Yeah. Exam related topic will cover in the live class, which is based on PMI content. And then we have a mock test, which are ensuring that we check it as per the latest exam content outline. So we have a class starting in the December, and this is how we take it. Yeah. Okay, so we have Falguna. Falguna and I used to promote PMI-ACP in 2012 a lot. After that, 13, and then we gradually reduced our focus because of various reasons. But I think now this is little better. Okay, so my question is about knowledge and skills topics. In the old content, cases detailed topic. In the new content, outline is shown as a picture under the 6th category. So a little bit, not that much focused in this particular point in time. But they do have a tools list. Yeah, but as you rightly pointed out, it is not very much detail. But this problem, Falguna, is solved now because we are following PMI content. So if you follow PMI content, we ensure that whatever is going to come in the exam is taken care. Yeah. So all the types of knowledge and skills which are covered as per this, they are taken care. Here they have a list of tools and techniques, the way we used to have last time. But yeah, the other areas or other list is not there. You have, this is something they are just talking about as a survey result. As you pointed out, these are 6 pictures only. So these are just survey result. We can ignore them. We need to focus on a little bit of tools and techniques, which we will be integrating with our exam content outline lessons only. We don't have to go into detail. But personally, as a trainer, I feel if I just use a PMI content, the exam related problem is solved now. Okay, so Ram has a question. How many mock tests? So as of now, we have a 4 mock tests and we are thinking of adding few more. Our class, the live class will start after a month. Yeah, so probably by the time you enroll, you may have a 5 or 6 mock tests. That part we are making it more strong. But yes, yeah, the content is ready to take care of prerequisite learning. Yeah, from a perspective of proving yourself as a good Agile practitioner, not just for PMI-ACP. PMI-ACP, if you just probably memorize what PMI is giving you as an exam workbook, you pass. Yeah, that much is there. But you can probably get ready more. Yeah. So this is done. Now I have probably a few more things. So we covered. My approach is also done. I think I'm waiting for your questions now. How new PMI 28 program hours program is different. So this is little. I think I briefly explained already, but I'm making a point again. The new program is assisted program by PMI. So what PMI is doing now, that there was a weakness. They used to publish exam content outline, and they used to publish some documents like PMBOK and Agile Practice Guide. And usually the exam content outline and documents were not matching because there is a different process of publishing these two. Exam content outline is published based on what is needed in the industry, and document had another team which is talking about what kind of standard we should put. So the content was coming, but people were having their own sources and they were going to multiple providers to find out the right content. Now, especially those programs which PMI believes are more popular and there is a more number of people doing it, they set up their own team to develop a content for the teaching. And they are saying, if you are our education provider, you must use our content. That's another restriction they put on people like us. Earlier, we could create our online content and tell you that you are ready. But now we can create online content, but that will be augmenting content. The core content of the exam we have to teach from the PMI only. So that way, it is mandatory live class program now, like PMP, some of you might have observed, and it is mandatory to use PMI content. But I would personally say that if you compare PMI-ACP content, which PMI has prepared for educating people, is far, far more polished and structured than their current PMP education content. Some of you, if you have been through a PMP program using PMI content, but PMI-ACP content is far, far different, and it is better, in the better side, and it makes you ready for the exam. So this is the new problem they are like how they are solving the problem and hoping that people will get it faster in the certification process. Yeah, so that's how, Falguna, this problem is solved now. So we just need to teach them the foundational concepts, and for exam coverage, we just make them follow the PMI structure. Yeah, that's how they will get ready. Now, recently, when I was just answering some of the questions on my previous video, I got another question, my Griffith book, second edition, can I still use it? Yeah. So again, it's a little a different thread. But yes, you might know that my Griffith book was very famous for our older PMI-ACP content. People used to just memorize and get all the content and get certified. So as I said before, 21 that 72% content is same. So if you use that book, it definitely help you to get the 70% content ready. The way other programs might also get you ready there. But you study the remaining exam content outline, focusing on those two areas, mindset and leadership, to make sure that you cover the remaining path. Now, I don't have an awareness that is there any third edition coming in to cover 28 contact hours. I don't know, that much information I don't have. I don't follow much. But I got this question, so I just wanted to make my opinion clear that it is same like you have a 21 contact hours program prepared. Earlier, we were having this struggle because there was no one comprehensive source where you can get the all content outline. And that's why these books were more used as a rescuer. But now that problem is solved, and I don't think there will be much need of any third-party books other than PMI material to prepare for the exam. You need to study the core concepts by preparing Scrum, Kanban, and other concepts. So these are the questions which I prepared from my side based on various interaction. If you have more, we can explore more. As from my side, I think I am done. Okay, so I see the threads. If there is something pending here, to take care of your queries. So our process, as I explained, is as you enroll, we give you material to get ready. We also add PDUs to it. So you get 60 PDUs. If you are a PMP certified, now you can move forward. Yeah. So Ram is asking something now other than Agile Practice Guide. Maybe some other thing will come. PMI has other material also. The answer is yes. Yeah. So Agile Practice Guide is something which is available to all PMI members. Yeah. The other material is only available to those individuals who enroll to PMI-ACP preparation program through PMI's authorized education provider. Yeah, that's how it is. And that the PMI authorized education provider will enroll you. They will enroll you. You can't directly enroll yourself, and PMI will take money from them, not from you. So indirect money will go. You will give to them, and they will give to PMI. And with that, they will give you access. And with that access, you will be downloading these workbooks and the copy of the slides. And in your live class, the education provider is expected to go through those slides to make sure he educate and make you completely aware of the essence behind exam content outline. And that content is designed covering 100% of PMI ECU, exam content outline. Okay, so this was the thing. I think we are settling down. Things are becoming good. So yes, maybe going forward, we will pick up a topic and talk about it. This time I was just taking a topic of exam only. So what is the change and how we should look at it? And is it a good thing to do? Those kind of conversation. Many a time I get this query, should I really do PMI-ACP? I understand what is the PMI-ACP and all about, but is it a right investment? So that's a little tricky question, and I would say that it depends. Uh, as I was sharing that, me, Falguna, some of us were very enthusiastic about PMI-ACP when it came in the 2011 time. And most of us started doing lots of training during 2012-13, but gradually things didn't pick up the way we were expecting. Because of various reasons, at that point in time, the other Agile certification bodies were very popular, like CSM was very popular, so, CSPO was very popular, and they were doing. Now, fast forward, it's been more than 12 years, 13 years. In between, PMI was also a little bit not that much focused on PMI-ACP. What I see different now is the organizations are looking for something which is not focusing on one path. So they look for professionals who focus on agility rather than a particular framework. They focus on multi-path awareness of Agile. And in that need, the PMI-ACP fits well because it is giving you a message that you know the various way of doing Agile as far as message is concerned. The second differentiator I'm saying, I was talking to one of the organization where they are insisting for PMI. Is what is happening nowadays. So one of my friends, she was explaining, since this is a exam-based exam, you have a proctored exam and there is some validity behind it. In our organization, they appreciate that because people understand, CSM is can be given from home, PSM can be given in a non-proctored environment, and there is no that much check around the exam. So first, there are two reasons which brings my interest back into PMI-ACP. First is the movement of the industry from one particular way of doing Agile. And the second is that need of the organization to have some checks and balances based certificate rather than just attending based certificate or little easy certificate. So this is my observation. You need to do your own research and find out, is it really worth to do a PMI-ACP? Okay, we have a question. So I did my CSPO with you. Thank you. As a product owner, CSPO, ACPO, do I need to do PMP? Is it beneficial, or I want to continue as a product owner role only? My answer, that if you are working as a product contributor in a service-based industry, where you do project A for client and you do product management, business analysis for them, then client is over, you do for next client, you do a business analysis, product management, then you go to third. If you're working like that, then acquiring project management skill might be a good idea, because many a time when you are working in that mode, business analysis, client requirement handling, and project management end up converging in some of those organizations. But if you are working in the organization where you are specialized in a particular domain, you are not switching from one industry to another industry, you are working with a one product area only, then I don't think you need to do skill enhancement in the project management area. Yeah. So PMP for me is not a certificate. PMP for me, and that's how we take it, it's a way of enhancing my project management skill. So I want to grow in that particular area. So if you are into the area where you are dedicated to a product line and domain line, then you focus on that area. Maybe you don't have to worry about acquiring project management skills. So that's how I see it. So you need to see what kind of product management, business analysis, your role you are in. Okay, so that was interesting. We got some idea. Okay, so I think we got lots of questions and we had great conversation. So thank you everyone for your participation. If you have any follow-up question, please feed it in our YouTube comment or LinkedIn comment. I will reply. I may end up making a follow-up video for it, depending upon the complexity of that particular question. Just let us know. We will do our best to assist you to make your career progress and decisions, career growth decisions. The certifications are just tool. They are not the goal. That's how we see it. And yes, they give you a little smart target. You focus on a particular direction, gives you some sense of achievement, and should later on helps you in giving the benefits, which can only come by enhancing the skills and competency. So we try to give you the whole package, which is just not limited to that label, but it also helps you to move forward. Yeah. So drop us an email, chat with us if you have a specific question related to enrolling to our PMI-ACP. We are running live classes starting this December. Thank you. Bye for now.